What in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? It's your boy Big Low Kuntry. Got my homeboy here.
What's up, y'all? Y'all know what time it is, man. Smitty, Sports Machine, Big Low Country, his moonshine. Y'all know how we get down, man. We're a couple of people short tonight, but you know how we do it, man. We're gonna roll on. We Falcon fans, man. Joy and Jeff, they are down under the weather tonight. But me and Big Low Country, we're gonna take y'all all the way through this thing, man. Whole interview. I hope y'all enjoy this, man, because we working hard behind the scenes to bring y'all great content each and every week. And Jessie, Tuggle, Chuck Smith, Terrence Mathis, all the Dirty Birds, the original Dirty Birds. So, hey, you know what time it is, man. You know what time it is. Jessie Tuggle will be on in 1 second. We're going to learn about his playing career, coming from Valdosta State as an undrafted free agent, all the way through a 13-year career. 13-year career, actually, with the Atlanta Falcons, 5-time Pro Bowler. I mean, he was just one of those guys that just didn't get enough credit. And the only guy, and I'm going to tell y'all this, and I remember this like it was yesterday, he is the only player that I have ever seen get a clean shot on Barry Sanders.
You're right. That was tough to do, Bo.
And Barry Sanders said that himself.
Hey, man, that was tough to do. That was one of those impossible tasks, man. But if anybody could do it, we know Jessie. It would have been the Hammer. It would have been Jessie. It would have been
he rejuvenated this city along with Deion Sanders, Chuck Smith, player Bobby Butler, Charles Demery, players Albert Shelley. They had great players, man. It just seemed like they couldn't find the right coach. But don't tell them I said
that. Hey, man, you know how it is in the NFL. Sometimes it's just hard to get everything together all at one time. Like all these teams that win Super Bowls, everything comes together all at once, bro.
Right. You got to have everything in place. It's basically called chemistry. Team got to have the right chemistry, got to have the right atmosphere for the players to thrive in. And I think the Falcons have done that a couple of times, but they just haven't put it all together at once. They did with Dan Quinn when they went to the 2016 Super Bowl, but the chemistry, it just seemed flawed for some reason.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had the wrong pieces in the wrong places. I'm just put it like that.
Man, you know, it's like you talk about that year we went to the Super Bowl, bro. It's like the whole year I kept feeling like, man, this offense is rolling. But I remember thinking the whole time, something just don't feel right. And, you know, I kept getting surprised and we kept going farther and farther until the last possible point. But, you know, that's a whole nother conversation, Smitty.
But we get into that. Oh, boy. You'll never hear the end of it, dog. Never.
Man, you ain't never.
And if y'all didn't know, man, during the 1990s, early 2000s, Valdosta State, one of the best Division II teams in the nation, winning national titles. And for him to come from Valdosta State and into the NFL as an undrafted free agent, man, that's tough to do. And it's a guy on the team right now, and I'm going to ask them about it, Dorian Etheridge, who reminds me a lot of him. This guy, he explodes towards the ball, great tackler, run through blocks. He just reminded me a lot of Jessie Tuggle. And if y'all seen that video, I said that he reminded me of Jessie Tuggle, and those 13 tackles, he was hitting everything that was moving. So when you think of things like that, Jessie Tuggle is the first name comes to mind.
And you know, if I'm not mistaken, Smitty, I think during that point in time, there was a lot more rounds in the NFL draft too. So it's like
right. It was 12 rounds. Right.
Yeah. So he didn't just get missed on 7 times. You know what I'm saying? But that's what life's about. Getting your opportunity and taking advantage of it. And that's definitely what he did. Definitely
he did. And he did it, and he made the team around him better. And a lot of people will never give him that credit, but he always made the people around him better.
Yeah.
So we'll be waiting on him. He'll be checking in just a moment. But thank y'all for tuning in, everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all tuning in as always supporting us. Please go ahead and share this. Share it to YouTube. Share it to Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can.
Go ahead and
share it to
Instagram.
Everywhere. Right.
I don't care if you got to send a smoke signal. Make sure that you go ahead and share it, man. Because look, I know that a lot of y'all mamas and daddies, I know they like Jessie. Everybody in Atlanta love the Hammer. So I'm pretty sure everybody going to get a chance to sit down and hear what Jessie Tuggle has to say. This is a rare occasion, and I'm definitely excited about it, man. Definitely.
Hey, Tony Wright, what's up, dog?
Tony Wright, what's going on, Coach Tony? Man, boy, man, yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, Ball Supreme says Tuggle is the greatest linebacker of all time.
And Boss Supreme, tell him, man, Jessie should be in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of these players, they penalized because of the bad team they're on. You look at Claude Humphrey, he had 122 sacks during his career, and 108. It might have been right at 100 he had with the Atlanta Falcons. And he should have been in the Hall of Fame back probably right after he retired, the 6-year period that they take, which is probably 1987, right around the time Jessie got drafted. Claude Humphrey should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Claude Humphrey, man, he definitely made a huge difference for Atlanta for a long time. Like you said,
right,
100 plus sacks for one franchise. You don't really see that too much.
Right.
You don't really see that. I mean, but it's just like you said, man, it's one of those cases, sometimes it's the team that you own. If you played for the Steelers, Packers, Cowboys, it would have been a completely different
been no problem. No problem. Because Brian Urlacher got in, and he made it to a Super Bowl as well. Yeah. He probably had more All-Pro selections, more Pro Bowls. But if you look at what they did, Jessie Tuggle was right there with him. So, you have to recognize people for what they are and not what, numbers and popularity tell. Because there's a lot of players on a lot of bad teams that should be in the Hall of Fame, and they're not. Look how long it took for Leroy Selman to get in there for the Buccaneers. He's probably one of the best defensive tackles to ever play the game, and it took him forever to get into the Hall of Fame. So
forever and a day.
Numbers don't always tell the story.
You're right, man. You're right. And, sometimes, we got to be honest. It's like that popularity contest comes into play. I mean, look at T.O. Like T.O., he did play for some of those good teams, but, sometimes it's the person that you are, and like sometimes they don't want to let you in that, let you in there. Brian Peoples, he mentioned London Fletcher. Like, that's a travesty in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Another undrafted free agent.
Yes. Definitely, man. Definitely. But yeah, man. I'm definitely excited about it, man. Definitely excited about it. Like, there's so many things to be excited about, man. We got the season coming up on Sunday. We got the first game on Thursday. I'm ready to go. I done picked all my fantasy teams, so I'm ready to go, Smitty. I'm locked and loaded, Bo.
Hey, what you talking about, man? What you talking about? Fantasy football, it's gonna be crazy this year. It's it's gonna be a lot of sleepers in this year with the fantasy draft, and I just hope that everybody out there has success. What I'm gonna do a weekly picks and predictions, and for certain games, I'm gonna give my thoughts on the game, fantasy stars for the game. So y'all keep a lookout for that. My first episode is probably dropping tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay.
So watch out for that.
So are you doing one for the Tampa game, the Tampa and Dallas game?
It'll be on that video.
Okay. I got you.
That'll probably be my game of the week.
Okay. I know everybody been hitting me up talking about Desmond Trufant going to the Saints, man. What in the world, bro? What?
That's crazy. I mean, it seems like they just picking the Falcons players off the street. They're just like us picking up Jameis Winston if he got cut, or Taysom Hill if he got cut. But Latavius Murray, who's still on free agency, I think think we'll see. We'll see.
Wait a minute. You think what? What you think?
I could see the Falcons going after him. He's a veteran. Like I said, they need more veterans on this team. They do need help still up front, but I think running back is still going to be one of those things that's going to be a work in progress.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really like to pick up a Gallman. But
I said that months ago.
Oh yeah. I remember that. But it's one of those things when it comes to. Wait a minute, there he is.
Hey,
what's up, fellas?
Hey, what's up, JT? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, doing great, man. How about you guys?
Hey, we doing great, man. We just rocking on the sports machine in Big Low Country, drinking this moonshine. But other than that, we fine, man.
Hey, look, man, all is good here, my man. All is good. You know, my boy Chucky was like, "Hey, Tuggle, hey, man, want to shout out, give my boys a shout on podcast." I said, "Cool, man. They ain't got no problem with that."
Chuck, my dude, man.
That's
Chuck
all
is
right,
my
man.
dude.
That's real cool. Oh yeah, that's my boy. That we like this, man. You know, ever since that battle on that road to the Super Bowl, man, we've been like boys. We were boys before then, but man, life is good, man. Life is good.
And that's that's important. That's important, man. That's
man.
Important.
Speaking of life, let's get it started from the beginning. 1987, Valdosta State Blazers.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what was like coming in as a rookie, and tell us what you had to prove to everybody else that you belonged in the NFL.
You know what? In 1987, man, I was just coming off an All-American season at Valdosta State University as a Division II. Actually, I was a two-time All-American down there, but I was at 5'11", playing at a small school. Didn't play on TV, and when we traveled, we never traveled through airlines. We took buses everywhere, right?
Right.
So when I got the opportunity to play as a Falcon, man, I was like, you know what? My biggest thing is the opportunity to come my way. I want to take advantage of it. And then in 1987, man, sure enough, I got the opportunity to try as a Falcon as a free agent, and wound up making the team. And the rest is history, man. Who would have thought a small kid that went to a Division II school would have his name up in Mercedes-Benz Stadium as one of the original Ring of Honor guys? I mean, that's a big accomplishment to me because I feel like this is my home state. You know what I mean? And it was a tough fight for me to get into the NFL, and I was just fortunate enough to play 14 years.
Man, you can't beat that, Jess. You can't beat that, man. Goodness gracious.
I appreciate it.
14 years, a lot of people can't say that, man. 14 years, a lot of people get there, but 14 years, I mean, man, that's a long time.
Man, 14 years, you're right, because, when I was 22 years old, I was like, my ultimate goal was just to make team. Then when I made the team, I was like, you set goals, so I immediately set another goal. I said, I want to be a starter. I became a starter, man. When I became a starter, it took me two and a half years to become a starter in the league. So by my third year, I was starting. And then all of a sudden, I felt that, at playing this level in the NFL, which I didn't get an opportunity to play on a big scale basis as far as college football is concerned, and not many people had the opportunity to see me play. I wanted to show not only all the people who supported me here in Georgia, man, from my hometown, Griffin, Georgia, at Valdosta State University, but even as a Falcon, I wanted to show the Atlanta Falcons base fan that, hey, listen, man, you don't have to be drafted in the first round to be a good football player. And I'm out to show them right now. I'm about to break the stereotype and show them that this little guy from Valdosta State not only can play, but become a starter and eventually be an all-pro. So all that motivated me my whole career. So I sort of played with a chip on my shoulder my entire career. And believe it or not, that made me better. It made me more appreciative, too, of, going out each and every day, working hard.
Yeah,
I agree with that, man. And you had, great veterans around you in Scott Case, Marcus Cotton. He got drafted, actually, I think in the second round. John Rady, Buddy Curry. It just goes on and on. You had great veterans around you. Which one of those guys pushed you and gave you the knowledge of how to survive in the NFL?
Buddy Curry was a guy who I looked at my entire career as a high school player, being here in Georgia, watching on Sundays. and watching him do it at a high level, and I wanted opportunities just to do it. So I was a little bit starstruck when I first saw Buddy Curry, and then we wound up being teammates, and just watching how he prepared and watch how he worked. Then I looked at John Rady and guys like Joel Williams, all those guys, man, who worked hard and showed me how to prepare for the game, how to study for the game, and just how to be a pro. And that went a long way with me, as far as conditioning, as far as dieting, as far as just giving it everything you possibly have on the football field till you're dead tired. So, because in those days, you got to remember now, we was not playing for millions of dollars back in those days. We're playing for a lot of pride, a lot of
That's
pride,
true.
and a lot of pride and respect. Because I do remember a time when things were so bad here in Atlanta that as a young player, I used to go by Fulton County Stadium where we used to play, and the Braves used to play, and they used to say, "Go Braves and take the Falcons with you." You know what I mean? So at that point, neither one of the pro teams was winning, and the fan base was like, "Man, you guys are joke," So to see how far both programs have come over the years, man, and being here all my life, it makes me that much more appreciative of, being a Georgia native, and especially being a long time ex-Falcon.
Man. Now, I did want to ask you something, Jesse. So, over the years, everybody always talked about you being undersized, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you were talking about coming in and going through that undrafted free agent process. Could you kind of tell like everybody like all of the measurables that they look at whenever they look at a pro prospect,
Right?
like and
Okay,
like what
yeah.
you went through?
Yeah, no doubt. When I came into the league in 1987, the ideal NFL linebacker was probably 6'3", 245 pounds, and they wanted you to run a 4.6, 40, 4.5, 4.6, 40, and it was just this idea prototype of Lawrence Taylor. Everybody wanted it based off what Lawrence Taylor looked like, and then so when I came to the league, it was a lot of big backers, man, and then so I came in at 5'11", 230 pounds. But my biggest asset was that I was a 500-pound bench presser, and I could run and I can move, and I had extremely great quickness, and my 40 time was average, but my inside, 20 yards or so, 10 yards, 20 yards, moving lateral to the ball, attacking the line of scrimmage. No one could do that better than me, and I did it naturally because I did it in high school, I did it in college, and I had no fear. So back in those days, if you would asked me to run through that brick wall over there, I'd have did it. You know what I mean? I would did it without question.
Yeah.
Because my mindset was to be physical and hard nosed, and that's what I was taught when I was at Griffin High. And I took all that to college, and I took it to the NFL. So when guys saw me, they saw a guy who wasn't 6'3". But I have had guys after games walk up to me and walking beside me and going to the tunnel, and the opponents and say, "Man, we just cannot believe how much havoc you cause on the football field. Man, you a little dude." I was trying to tell you, man, man, you a little dude. And then, when you get off the bus in hotels in different cities, people will see me get off the bus and they'll say, "Hey, man, we're looking for that Jessie Tuggle dude to come off," and I'll be standing right beside him, right? And then they'll look at me like, "Wait a minute, are you just in trouble?" Like that. And then I said, "Man, we're waiting for some 6'3" guy to get off the bus as hard as you hit." So it has an advantage and disadvantage too. So I took it with a lot of pride, man, as far as making plays and hitting people, because it came so natural for me. I've been a big hitter all my life. Because I remember in high school we used to do what almost like an Oklahoma drill. You line up in a line, and you count the guys, and you go boom, boom, and you hit the third guy. Shoulder off, first guy, second guy, hit the third guy. And then guys that count the line, I used to notice that they used to count me to see what was I the hitter, and they'll always skip a line.
Gotta move around.
I
didn't do that too. I ain't gonna lie.
So that used to be hilarious to me because these are some of my best friends. But then we used to go to lunch together. I said, "Man, I thought we was friends, man." I said, "We are friends until we hit the football field." I said, "I'm gonna hit you just as hard as I hit my enemies." But that made me better. It made them better, So,
Right.
So all my life, man, I was a big hitter, and I was fortunate enough, to stay healthy from age 16 to I retired in age 35, and so I got a chance to hit a lot of people and stayed pretty much healthy my whole career. And but like anything else, man, any good thing comes to an end with age. Father Time catches up with everybody, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
time for me to go.
the show catching up with
14
me.
years. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Hey, look, man, I'm 56 now, so I tell you right now, it's no joke, man. Time goes by fast.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah.
we're gonna fast forward just a little bit. We're gonna get to the Dirty Bird, the beginning. Jerry Glanville back in black, black wave defense, 3-4 actually. What they're running right now in Atlanta. What Deion Sanders, Jessie Tuggle, y'all carried that team, man. What was it like ushering in a new era, ready to turn this thing around going into 1991 in that miracle season? What was that attitude like in that locker room?
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm glad you brought that year up. That was a big year, and that was in prime time. It was a Falcon, and it was the first year I think as a Falcon organization we started to win. Started to get respect around the league. So I credit to a lot of the guys. As far as myself and a lot of other veterans. Dion and a couple other guys who really stepped up in the locker room and tried to make a difference. So we had a good football team, though, and we wasn't used to going to the playoffs, so that was a big playoff year for us, and it was a lot of fun, man. Those years brought back a lot of great memories. But I also think because of that season in '91, it helped us even, later on, 7 years later, when 1998 came around, because we knew that it's rare to get to where you want to go, and to get to the playoffs there in '91, we came so close, and then finally, pushed forward even farther in '98 to make it to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, we just didn't win it, but at the same time, I was glad to be a part of both of those teams.
Right, that's what I'm talking about, man. '91 was the year, all the way up to '98. Winning, it just changed everything. But coaching wise, you go from Jerry Glanville to June Jones, God knows.
All right. The crazy part, I will tell you this right here, and I'm sorry I skipped over that. Okay, look.
That's all right.
Jerry was extremely fun to play for. I'm just trying to tell you, he was like, he was like that father figure, but who wanted to make it fun for you, though. He wanted to make pro football fun. And so we used to go to these cities, man, and we used to visit all these different monuments, wherever famous historical item was in any city, man. We went there as a team. And Jerry would have the locker room so loud, you think it was a concert the day of a game, where some coaches say, man, we want you guys to focus and be focused on game day and turn the music down. Man, he had rap playing, he had R&B playing, he had rock and roll playing, he had country music playing. He just said, hey, listen, guys, if you ain't ready about time you get here, you ain't gonna get ready sitting in this locker room. I want it like a party, because when we hit the field, we got a party. And by the way, I'm gonna leave Elvis some tickets too. Every Sunday, I'm gonna leave him a ticket at the Georgia Dome. So listen, that dude left Elvis Presley tickets doing no good time. Good and well, he's not gonna pick the tickets up, So Jerry was the kind of guy who made it fun, man, and he brought back the black jerseys and gave us a little nasty attitude. You know what I mean? He used to make us hit people and run to the ball and go full speed and never stop. That kind of stuff. And so it was a lot of fun. And then June Jones comes about. He was a totally different individual as far as personality wise. Very professional. He was he was probably the best coach, friendly person to a player. He's the only coach that I played like 5, maybe 6 different head coaches. And right. June was the only guy that when we traveled, he let all the veteran players sit in first class and made his coaching staff, the personnel people, all sit in the back of the plane. He said, no, you guys are the stars. You guys who play, you guys who go out there and have the blood, sweat, and tears. No, you guys are going to ride first class. And he will put everybody, he did it by seniority, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And even at practice, the way he took care of us, man, as far as conditioning and the heat, he just treated us like men. But when you give a player a lot of responsibility to be their own man and do all the right things, and you're trying to deal with 53 individuals, it's always going to be 4 or 5 knuckleheads that mess it up for everybody. You know what I mean? So, right. And I think that was the downfall to the way June wanted to coach, because he trusted all of us. And then the ones that he lost his trust in sort of ruined for everybody.
Right. And I just got to ask this question because you was on the field this day. This Deion Sanders, Andre Rison thing, how did this flare up from the locker room all the way to the field? I just got to know.
All right. Okay. You got to understand that Dion was the Falcon for a long time. Then he had went to. This is when he went to San Francisco, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
And then all week long, the press will make a big deal that Andre Rison be facing Deion Sanders. You know, who's the better player? Andre was a Pro Bowler, Deion the Pro Bowler, and they both was very. They the media all the time. They love the media, love to talk, and neither one of them are going to back down. So it started during the week as far as what's going on at the practice. All the questions was coming up about Andre Rison when they interviewed Dion. All Andre Rison interviews all will come up. What's going to happen when you and Dion meet. So apparently they meet in the Georgia Dome. I never forget this game. So as a player, I'm excited just to see how it's going to turn out myself, right? And then all of a sudden, Dion put on a show, man. I mean, he literally put on a show that day. And then him and Andre got into like a little. I would say here, Dion shut Andre Rison down, and I never thought he could shut Andre Rison down like that. And I think that was the same game where he picked the ball off and took it in.
Right, took to the house.
To the house for 80 yards, and I'm on the sideline, right? I'm right there on the sideline. And I see him pick the ball up, and boom, he put his hands by his head, right? And started his Dion primetime kick about 50 yards out. And then I'm looking at him, and I wish I would have had a camera on my eyes. Like, I might have been rolling my eyes so hard. I was like, I cannot believe this just happened. I think Jeff George was the quarterback, and Dion baited him, man. And when they threw the ball, he jumped it and just took it to the house. That game was unbelievable. And to top all that off, I think another thing that I remember more so than any other thing was after the game interview, first question they asked Dion, hey Dion, what it's like? Wait, before y'all even answer the question, I'm gonna tell you guys right here. This is my house. I built this house. This is my house. I'm at home watching this on the 11 o'clock news. And understand this now, as a player, you don't battle the whole day. You come home, you had dinner with your family, your wife and kids and the young kids, and you sit around the house and the local news come on. And trust me, man, back in those days, all the guys that played preferred, they wanted to see how the local news media say about us. I don't care, guys. They might never watch TV or whatever, man. They watch it.
I remember those days.
We can watch the highlights. And then all I can see is Dion Sanders highlight all day. I'm like, man, I can't wait to play them again. We gotta shut this dude up, man. I was about ready to play again and the next day, be honest with you.
Right.
But that was hilarious, and and that's where all the good times, man. I think I was a Pro Bowl that year, and we did to the Pro Bowl with Dion comes out there, and at first he wasn't gonna speak to me. You know what I mean? I was like, he's not gonna speak to me. And then, so make a long story short, man, the second, third day, we just started laughing about the whole thing. And it's funny, man. Pro football is a tough, hard-nosed sport. And you give everything you got, but at the end of the day, it's still just a job. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard to put that in perspective, during the season when you play 16 or 17 games. 17 games now, I guess, but 16 games and you got that battling for your life, you know what I mean? Trying to be the best of the best. I played golf with Bettis today. And it's so funny that I look at this dude, at 6 foot tall, 245 pounds, playing for Pittsburgh, Hall of Famer now and all that. Man, we used to battle each other so heavy and so hard. And then they're laughing on the golf course at each other and looking at each other. And I'm thinking to myself, it's funny, after 20 years, 25 years go by, we good friends and hanging out. But when we was in our 20s, and I might be in my early 30s, and he was in his late mid-20s, it's so crazy, man. I did not like him at all because I knew he was a tough guy to deal with on the football field, right?
Right.
And years later, man, we all friends, man, playing golf, and we just laughing about the good times. But that's what makes sports so great, at least. And,
lifetime friendship. Right.
Lifetime friendship, man, from all teams too, man. And I think that's real cool.
Yeah, that's something that you take with you for a long time, man. The same way you talk about Chuck Smith, you talk about how y'all battled, in that Super Bowl season. It's like you're gonna remember all those moments. You're gonna remember, being in practice and about to toss your cookies and everything like that. I mean, you're gonna remember all that, man. So,
man, you remember? Hey, look, you remember all of it, man. You remember the times when you're sitting right before you go to practice and it's storming outside. and it's raining so hard. You're like, man, I cannot believe we got to go out and practice this mess right here. Then you realize you got a labor job. He said, man, y'all got the best job in the world. No, we got a labor job. we play on the all conditions, rain, snow.
Uh-oh, you went out. You went out, Jessie. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Jessie.
Okay, all right, they come back.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, yeah, you good now. You good now.
I should have blocked my call, but I'm in the middle of a conversation talking to you guys about practice and everything else. Then guess who called? Your buddy called me, man. Chuck, he the one who messed up the podcast. I was like, dude.
Hey, tell him to join in. Tell him to join in.
Look, I had to hit cancel because when it came up, it blocked you guys off. I was like, man, he knew I'm in the middle of a podcast. But that's hilarious, man. But yeah, but make a long story short, man, we laugh about all the little things that happen in the locker room, and then because you got 53 grown men playing a kid's game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're having a great time with it. But we know that you got to have some fun because it's a tough, hard-nosed physical game. But then on Sunday, that's when we know it's no playing around. It's strictly business. And then it's not about the money. It's not about the friendship. It's about battling, and with 53 guys trying to achieve one goal, and that's just to win. And I think that's part of life where, you can take that same thing outside of football, outside of sports, but it's not too many places or arenas you can walk into when you have 50 to 75,000 people cheering you on to go out there and play as hard as you possibly can play, hit hard as you possibly can hit, and do all the things that you want to do, not only for yourself, but for your teammate, yourself, and also the fans too, though. And that thing is encouraging, man. Even with COVID that went around last year and no fans, I think the games went on, but just so the fans know they would definitely miss, and we can feel the fans when they're there, when it's good and it's when it's bad. So it plays a part on the player as well. So man, I'm hoping this year be a great year for not only for the players but the fans also.
Man, I did have a good question for you, Jessie, because I was talking about your measurables whenever you first came into the league. Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you this right here: how do you think it would apply in today's game? Or how do you think you would play in today's game?
It'd be different. I'm not gonna lie to you. The game has changed a lot the last 25 plus years. I think coming in the league right now as a undrafted, run stopping linebacker who had a lot of ability, but I might have not had the opportunity to showcase my ability. If that makes sense, because I probably wouldn't have had enough time in training camp. You don't hit anymore. You don't train anymore. You don't, and now you're only playing 3 preseason games. We played 4. But we also used to be in training camp 3 weeks before the preseason game started. You know what I mean? So we had about a 6-week training camp that went 2 days. It was so physical to the point where you had to hit every day. If you didn't hit every day, it wasn't like practice. But now you don't even put the pads on. You put the little shield and jerseys on. I see you, Chucky. And look, I just told my boy, I'm doing the podcast right now. I don't have nobody calling me, interrupting me.
Hey, I'm just a fan, dog. I'm just trying to see how much y'all doing.
No, we just hanging out, man. We just talking, right, fellas? We having a good time talking.
Hey,
but,
man.
But yeah, man. So the biggest thing about pro football, man, I think, so we're just talking about stuff that goes on away from the football field, in the locker room stuff, at practice. Yeah. And the question was asked, would it be different for me to be a professional now? The way I came in '87, how they got it based now, I said I probably wouldn't have got an opportunity because I wasn't drafted. And back in those days, you had to make the team. There used to be 4 to 5 draft picks get cut every year that they could not make the team.
Right.
And now every draft pick now automatically makes the team. And now it's not hard for a free agent guy to go out there and shine because he don't have enough time at practice to show the coaches that he actually can play. And if that wasn't happening, they'd have missed out on a guy like me, 5'11", 230 pounds, 30 pounds, and that was a hard-nosed hitter and knew the game.
Whoa, like 5'10".
Whoa, Chuck.
Like 5'10",
man. 5'11", man.
Hey, Ham.
Look, my boy
look.
Chuck swear that I'm shorter than 5'11", man. I told him, boy, I'm 71 and a half inches. That 5'11" and a half. I just look thick. When I look so thick, it make me go shorter.
When Jessie stand on all that money, he about 6'6" though.
Yeah, whatever, man.
On that
Whatever.
Hey, I noticed whenever Jesse said he was 5'11", he said 5'11" about 5 times. He said it proud too.
That's right, because Chuck be swearing I'm less than 5'11". Man, you know he's 5'10". We're talking
there's
about
only
guys.
There's only one person in Falcons history that got smaller calves than me, and it is Jesse. Hey, that boy upper body. Hey, that boy upper body. Hey, Jesse upper body look like. Listen, his upper body like Lou Ferrigno. Look, I'm telling his upper body like Tony Atlas, but his legs like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That boy.
That's so funny. Hey guys, that used to be so funny. We used to go to the weight room. That was like a super heavy lifter. I'm a 500 pound bench presser, right? So Chuck will walk in one day and say, "Hey man, I just noticed like you open your legs, man." Hey, look, I always had super thin legs. I tell you, man, you ever seen a deer run? Do a deer have big legs? So that was so funny, man.
Hey,
that was our inside joke, man. I do not have big calves.
But look, let me just tell y'all. I gotta tell y'all I gotta give y'all the inside skinny. So I'm not really the inner. I'm just like a fan right now, Hammer. Y'all see, I'm straight laying down, got my socks on.
Man. We laid back, man. We laid back.
Hey, but look, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. And Hammer, I want you to you gotta talk about this, man. I'm talking about like when Jessie used to hit people. And Hammer, I want you to tell them who your best hit, because I seen a lot of them. I seen Jessie hit Barry Sanders. He's the only person who hit
I talked
Barry
about
Sanders.
that earlier.
And when he hit Barry Sanders, it was like he had punched a piece of meat. Boof! It wasn't a crack. When Jessie Tuggle hit you, you don't hear the pads hit, you hear the body get hit. He go through the pads. So Ham, who's the hardest hit? Man, who the hardest hit you ever had?
Look, man, probably I don't have a lot of big hits, man. That a lot of them where my teammates would ask me after the hit, man, you okay, dude? And listen, all I know when you can make 1,000 people go woo at one time, that's when you know you just knocked the L somebody. But look, I still say though, you can ask a few Hall of Famers. You got Barry Sanders, you can ask Emmitt Smith, you got Eric Dickerson, you can ask Steve Young. Man, you can ask Randall Cunningham. You can ask a lot of guys, man. Robert White. All those guys, man, and say, man, you know the linebacker named Tuggle, man. What you think about him? If them guys don't say, man, that dude hit me harder than anybody I ever played against. I remember a couple of Saints running backs, so I used to just murder those guys.
Dalton Hilliard, I know one of them.
Oh man, that was one of them right there. Oh my
That's the reason they got rid of Ricky Williams. Tell them, Ham. Hey, that's the reason why the Saints got rid of Ricky Williams. We punked Ricky Williams. We punked Ricky Williams.
Man, we killed him, man. Look, we
talking so much trash to Ricky.
We don't, man. We've been in so many battles that destroyed these guys who fans know as superstars. Me and Chuck done punked these guys, man. I'm just trying to tell you, we be on the sideline. Okay, yeah, you guys gotta think. I was a hard hitter. I hit hard and I run to the ball hard. I had no fear. I had zero fear to run through people.
I got a question for both of y'all. I got a question for both of y'all right quick. 1998 in Minnesota. What was y'all mindset the second half that made y'all flip that game around to take the Falcons to their first Super Bowl?
I'll tell you, I'm glad you asked that question. Your boy you looking at with that red shirt on, laid back like you done drank 2 beers. Chuck Smith. Chuck Smith made a play right before halftime. I thought that changed the game, to be honest with you. And he forced a turnover. But right then, we go into the locker room. We look at each other, and Chuck and I, and say, look, man, they're going to do the best what they have at us right now. And we still in the hunt. We don't check what we're down, maybe a touchdown or something like that. So, well, we still in the hunt. Man, we came back in the second half. It was like a battle to the end. And then, once Anderson missed that field goal, and he haven't missed all year long, we knew that day was going to be our day. And that game there, man, was one of the most exciting, heartbreaking, game. I look back at a lot of the highlights, and sometimes I can't hardly believe that the after game highlights, I'm not in any of the highlights because Chuck is on the field on top of me, beating me in the ground. Talking about, man, I can't believe we're going to the Super Bowl. We going to the Super Bowl. So we must lay on the ground for about 5 minutes.
Man,
that was real cool, man.
I jumped on Jessie, almost chipped my tooth, man. We was on the ground, man.
It's unbelievable, man. It was like when you work for something so hard, even for a lot of the fans who are Falcons football, any football fans, as a player, you work all the years. You work, blood, sweat, tears, practice, rain, sleet, snow, cold, hot, win, losses, and then all of a sudden you put yourself in position to go to the ultimate game that you've been fighting for all your life and make a grown man turn to a little kid. And Chuck, that was one of the best feelings in the world, wasn't it? Just knowing that, hey man, we about to go to Super Bowl 33.
You know what? One of the things we always talk about was with Jessie. We'd always talk about because eventually, we was the catalyst. You know what I'm saying? Jesse's the captain, man. I'm the sergeant, right? Mm-hmm. So, we had a lot of teammates over the years, man, that came and went that had expectations to be with us. So if you think back, it's a generation of first rounders, second rounders.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
That came offense and defense. And for us to get there, we used to always want to be, man, listen, we used to always want to be relevant because there wasn't an opportunity. There was no parity. And my thing with Jessie, I watch how this cat practice, man. I watch how this cat, when I got to the Falcons, this dude was on all the special teams. I mean, and I'm on one special team and I was struggling. So Jessie did all that, man. I still don't think people in Atlanta truly understand the work from the standpoint of what he was doing, what he went through. And a lot of times, Jessie somewhat, he's in the Ring of Honor, but I still, in my opinion, don't feel where he gets the ultimate respect that he deserves. And I'm not saying this because he's on here. I'm just keeping it real. I don't think they do him justice and I'm just talking about tell a story. I want him to do a story. Somebody tell this man's story. I want to see from the time he went when he was at Griffin, mm-hmm. and from the time he got to Valdosta, the grind he went. Because remember, Jessie went through the scrub years. Well, I don't, in the late 80s.
Right. Those 3 and 13 years.
Think about that. Right. There ain't nobody in history, in Falcon history, that had done it like that. He went from that era to the too legit to quit era to the Dirty Bird era to Arthur Blank's early era.
He was there through all of it.
Hey, Chuck, you know what, Chuck? Hey, man, I appreciate that. And I haven't even thought about that over the years. I haven't even thought about it. But you're right, man. That was a lot of grinding back in those days, man. Yeah, a lot. I was going to listen when you brought something to get up to. Guys, when I say special team, we're talking about kickoff team, kickoff return team, punt return team, and playing full defense. And you do a lot of running. I mean,
a lot of running, boy.
I did it for almost 10 straight years. And people don't understand that most guys who are in my position, you only do it for once you become a starter, you don't have to do the special teams. And man, I'm like, I was still about 32 years old. I was still in the punt team. And I was like, what is going on around here?
Yeah, but see, that's how you play football. You play all out. So
I was gonna say, you look like you was enjoying it, Jessie. Every time I watch,
I tell you what, I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to be dead tired, but I still enjoyed every minute of it. Every minute of it.
I got an even better question. Everybody want to know this. Hall of Fame. We all know you're supposed to be there. What's your thoughts on
hopefully one day
getting the cat?
Well, man, you know what? One day I hope it happens. Seriously, I hope it happens. When I look around the league, man, and particularly some guys that went in before me or my stats are equal to or a little bit better than, I think the opportunity is there. I mean, it may happen. I just feel like one day when I'm about 75 years old, someone gonna call me and say, "Hey, Tuggle, guess what? Hey, man, you got to go in the Hall of Fame." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm 75 years old now." You know what I mean? It's all good though.
Right.
But I don't know, man. It just Hall of Fame to me, it is what it is. The Hall of Fame. They want people who was popular, who definitely played on winning organizations, who was, I don't know, man, who the media knew very well. A lot of part of my career, particularly part of the first 10 years of my career, not many people around the country got the opportunity to see some of my best work. Because we wasn't winning. Right. And it's not like it is today where no matter what team you play for, you get national coverage. We just played regional games. So do you remember that regional game where if you was in the Southeast, if you was losing, the games at home was blacked out. If you were 100 miles, and people in Atlanta couldn't see the game. That's the dumbest NFL rule you ever can probably think of. You blacking out your hometown fans to see a game because no one showing up to the game. But it was just ridiculous. And so, I don't know. Sometimes I think if I play on a team that maybe won 2 or 3 Super Bowls, that would possibly have a chance. But it don't matter to me, man. If it happens, it happens. But I feel, when I play golf a lot with like Hall of Famer, and it's so funny that all the ones that I see and I be with most of the time, I'm like, man, I should beat this dude up so much. I think this guy so hard, man. It's ridiculous.
I know, right?
It does crazy little stuff like that, but I do sometimes, a guy like Steve Young, even Barry Sanders. I don't even heard Emmitt Smith say before, man. Oh yeah, one tough hit is from this guy in Atlanta, man, Jessie Tuggle, man. When people say stuff like that, some of the guys who are Hall of Famers, they know. I think they know, man, that when you put numbers up and you play hard as you possibly can play. I have games. I have had over 25 tackles one time playing against the New Orleans Saints, and my body, I couldn't walk after the game. I was so tired and so beat up. And so, how many guys you see today who made 25 tackles in one game? You know what I mean? So
not many.
Just little stuff like that sometimes get overlooked.
Hey, so I got one more thing to say before I go. I gotta go upstairs. Me and my wife watching 90. We watching 90 Day Fiance. Look,
that's my jam. That's my joint too. That's my joint, man.
So look, I was there the day when Jerry Glanville and Jessie, you got the first one, the first Pro Bowl. But I think people in Atlanta and people don't understand you had already been a 5-time alternate behind.
That's it. The thing about that, absolutely.
So if Jessie Tuggle plays for the Cowboys, he's a 10-time Pro Bowler, and I tell that to everybody. So those kind of little things matter in a new era where guys are getting in with shorter amounts of years, and some guys on the ballot that don't even have 5 Pro Bowls, let alone well documented being alternates. So here's what I'm gonna say, and I told y'all I'm gonna give y'all the real from now on. And Jessie ain't got nothing to do with this. The organization, Arthur Blank and Rich McKay, it's time for you to stand up for players like Jessie, Mike Ken. You know what I'm saying? All those guys who are there. So again, it's a fact. I'm gonna tell her, and they're gonna have a hard time with it. When they bought the Falcons, they divided the franchise. You guys are here, we're gonna go here. So what happened was they separated. So now they're not worried about Jessie Tuggle going Hall of Fame. They're not doing what like Cincinnati's doing for Willie Anderson. They're not doing what Jacksonville's doing for Tony Baselli
and Fred Taylor.
So what has to happen is Arthur Blank and Rich McKay got to somewhat humble themselves and say, you know what? Everybody from that era is not a loser. They had all pro guys. They had superstars. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, that's just the truth. The ownership needs to stand up for Jessie. That's how guys get in the Hall of Fame. That's how even ultimately a guy like Dolman got in. I mean, he had people like that. I mean, he was worthy. But Jessie Tuggle, we need Arthur Blank and Rich McKay to stand up because they separated this franchise when they got it. They're losers. We're winners. But guess what? In one game, one Super Bowl, we're all together now, huh? How about that? 28-3. So now we all lumped together. So come on back and help the old guys, Arthur, Rich.
Hey, look, ain't no doubt about it, man.
I hate the Zoom bomb you and the whole 9, Smitty. My forehead greasy. I'm looking like, hey, man, I'm about to go up. Hey, Hammer.
Yeah.
Don't be running to that Madden either. Don't be running to that Madden. Tell them about Madden, Jessie.
Man, hey, look, man. Me and my boy Chucky, we play Madden every season, dude. And look, we hook up and we battle each other. This is Chuck's favorite thing right here, man. As soon as you beat him, his favorite thing he'll say is, let's run it back. Let's run it back. Hey, Chuck, I don't beat you like that. I don't have time to play you. He cannot leave. If he loses, he want to run it back no matter what happens. Hey, man, let's run it back.
But look, hey, we started playing in 1992. We played every year.
Chuck and I have been playing, man. I'm not kidding. We telling the truth, man. We've been playing each other. Chuck, you remember we used to bring the games on the airplane. Look, you remember back in those days, the battery was so big. They went on the airplane with the big battery.
Oh boy, that's dedicated.
Unbelievable.
And
But
Jessie was
we
good.
had a blast, man.
I ain't never get a rating over 90. I'm like, man, they had me like 85. You know, man, they ain't show me no love, man. The best love they gave me in Carolina, and I wish they hadn't put me on the Carolina team, man.
I know, man.
Right,
that's wrong, dog. That's wrong. All right, big dog.
Hey, Ham. Appreciate
Thanks for stopping in, man.
Smitty, appreciate y'all, man. Hey, Ham out. 90 days.
Yeah, I'll see you, man.
Hey,
all right, man. Peace.
Go ahead and jump on it, Chuck. Go ahead and jump on it.
Yeah, man. That's my boy, man. That's my boy, Jesse, man.
Now let me ask you this right here.
Go way back. Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this right here, Jesse. Who you run with on Madden? Who you play with on Madden?
Man, now the new one I just got. Okay, so I haven't played it much, but this ain't gonna be no surprise, y'all. Ain't gonna be no surprise. You know, I play with my hometown team, right? Listen, I be playing with the Falcons out there, man. I play with the Falcons. Look, I be having my son Grady out there. I be controlling him on the D line. So it is hilarious, man. You know, I have Matt Ryan out there doing his thing. This is Julio on the team too. So I had Julio. So I had all my boys, man. I had all the boys. And,
okay.
So it was really cool. But now, you know, I don't know who to play with this year, man. It's gonna be tough. But you know, game is different this year. It's gonna be a little different. I saw it already, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh, okay.
You just spoke of Grady Jarrett, and that was my next question. Seeing him make it to the NFL, being able to introduce him as an Atlanta Falcon, how was that as a father?
It was pretty cool, man. And people don't realize that probably the first time that ever happened where a dad, a former player, you know, introduces him as a draft pick that wasn't staged. And they had asked me before a few weeks before when I introduced the second round. But I think they traded the second round. And so when the fifth round came about, they had called me. I was down at the College Football Hall of Fame when they did the draft from down there. And they had called me, and I'm in there signing autographs. They said, hey, man, the Falcons just traded. They're about to make another announcement. And I threw my jacket off. I put my jacket back on. I said, this is a true story. So I'm about to go on the stage at the College Football Hall of Fame. And because at this point, the NFL Network was airing the, I think, maybe the fifth through the fourth through the sixth round, I think. All right, well, anyway, so we get there, and they said, we're going to be on it in 15 seconds. 15 seconds? Hey, man, y'all didn't even give me the name yet. Who are we drafting? Let me know. And they kept saying, I said, look, man, give me the name so I don't look crazy up here, but I can't pronounce the name, right? You know, like, give me the name so there's someone yells out, Grady Jarrett from Clemson. I said, look, man, y'all start joking around. Y'all know it's my son, right? I said, listen, give me the name. But seriously, man, give me a real name, right? So I'll be ready, man. I'll be ready. You know, then the guys go look at me and say, Jesse, seriously, man, the Falcons about to draft your son. And that's what happened. I mean, all happened on live time, just like that. And that particular time, I was about to on national TV, you know, make the announcement. But there's a young lady had won a contest that she had supposed to be on stage with me, and I almost the other day I caught myself that I did say, well, you know, we bring this lady, blah blah blah, brought a young lady up, and she had the honor to actually call out, you know, Jared's name. So I thought that was real cool, man. So to be on that stage that night, and particularly, I think even better now that he really established himself, you know, coming in as basically a low round draft pick. And wind up playing longer and better than Beasley, who was the number one pick at that time.
Don't mention that name.
I know. So that means a lot, man. I always tell people that the contract that my kid got was meant for that first rounder, you know, but he just didn't stand out. And Jared stepped up and took the catch because he outplayed him, and which is well deserved. You know what I mean? So, So with that being said, man, you know, I'm proud. I'm real proud of him as well.
man.
Yo, Grady, man, he a baller. I tell you, man, that's like the first time ever. That story is crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a crazy story, man, but it is a true story, and it was a tough time because, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but at that particular time, because a lot of guys who were ranked real high wasn't invited to New York, and because Jerry had a good season, but he wasn't that ideal 6'4", 300-pounder. You know, he's 6 feet, you know, 295 at that time, and then and he wasn't as fast as people like their D tackles would be. So obviously they invited to New York. He thought maybe he'll go a late first or a late second. So first went by, second went by, third went by, fourth round went by, and now he's upset a little bit. He's upset, and and so he feeling bad about himself. You know what I mean? But it don't matter if someone drafted you in the first round or the sixth round. Or seventh round, they still like you. You know what I mean? So when he got drafted in the fifth and they made a trade for him, at that time he didn't realize how special that was because Atlanta needed some D tackles, and he felt in the right position, with the right city, right team, right time, and you look at it now, and you see that it worked out perfectly. So sometimes you want things to happen for a reason, but things seem to happen for the real reason. And one of the real reasons is that he's an Atlanta Falcon for playing for the same team I played for. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy. Man, boy. Yeah, I remember when he was falling down the board. I was praying that we would get him, Jesse. I was like, man,
yeah,
go ahead and bring that young man home. That's what I was saying.
Exactly right. Exactly right. All is good, man. All is good. But man, I appreciate you guys, man, for having me on, man. It's been pretty cool, and my phone about to run out now, but Chuck had mentioned the chat with you guys.
Hey, we gonna have both of y'all on again soon, man.
All right, let's do it, man.
We love to do this.
All right,
we love to do
awesome,
this, man.
Yeah,
and I hear you guys got a great following here in Atlanta too, man. That is so cool,
right,
man. I like to see people be successful at whatever they do. And you
check out
too, you know what I mean?
Check out my YouTube, man. I give a great reason why you belong in the Hall of Fame.
Man, you know what? Much love to you, man. I appreciate that. And it's gonna happen, man. One day it's gonna happen. People gonna realize that, because even now, seriously, we talked about it. When I look back at it, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm proud of what I've accomplished here in Atlanta, but it is the ultimate respect. You know what I mean? It's the ultimate respect from your peers and your fan base and the media and everybody. And I think this organization should have more than only one Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Well, two now with Dion and Claude. But it's been a lot of great players to play, man. So I want hopefully one day not only myself, but I'm pulling for Tommy Novus. I'm pulling for
your son to be there too, man. Your son.
Man, we'll see. All right. So look, it's all for the good, man. All for the good. So look, man. Thank you guys for having me, man. It's appreciated, and like I said, I was just sitting back, relaxing here, and it's all good, man. It's all good.
All right, man. Thank you again, man.
I want to tell you a quick story before you left, Jesse.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm a pretty big boy. They tried to put me on the offensive line. I wanted to play on the defense. So the coach, he put me over there. He said, okay, we're going to put you in a D tackle playing the nose. I said, nah, man. I want to play linebacker like the Hammer. I want to come through there and hit somebody. Yeah, man. I said, I want to come through there and hit somebody.
Hey, look, that is so cool, man. Just to hear that, that is so cool,
yeah, man. But,
definitely. That's much love there, man. Much love. And even back when I'm gonna tell you another short story. This is a true story too. On my last Pro Bowl, I think it was Ray Lewis' first Pro Bowl. So he see me out there, and he run up to me, and he says, "Hey, Tuggle, man, look, man, you never met me, man, but when I was at Miami in college, he said, man, I used to watch one linebacker play, and that was you." He goes, "Man, I just can't believe I'm here right now, man, talking to you." That's it. Then he goes, "Man," and then now think about that. Now 10 years past that dude becomes not only a Hall of Famer, but that he was the MVP of the league about maybe 5 or 6 years after that, and I had retired like a couple years after my last Pro Bowl. But just to hear that from a young player, though, it means a lot. That means that you work in the NBA when you plan on losing teams. There are people watching you, and I used to tell everybody. Even I told all my sons, both my sons play, but I just said, look, man, play as hard as you can play all the time, because sometimes you never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you, and sometimes it can be that impression you leave on somebody. That might be the first time they ever seen you play, and you might be having a bad day, but they don't know nothing about you, and they're gonna think you're a butthead. But you out there and play as hard as you play every time, man. You just never know who's watching. You don't know who you might impress. So that was my whole philosophy about playing hard, man, and just go out there and give it everything you have. All right, guys. Listen, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right,
man. Invite me on again, man. Hopefully next time y'all invite me on to be like, week 9, week 8, them boys about 7-1 or 8-0.
It's on. It's on, man. That all you gotta do is say so. I know how to get in touch with you. We good to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All
maybe,
right, much love.
Maybe one day you let me whip up on your Madden one day, Jesse.
Let's do it. All right. He asked me for it, but I'll give you one. All right, yeah, that'll work.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, y'all be safe, man. All right.
You too.
Okay.
Man, I tell you what, bro, I really enjoyed that, man.
Hey, we to y'all out there in the comment box, we promise and we deliver. So by us delivering, y'all go ahead and deliver y'all good fortunes by sharing that video, pressing that like button, put that anywhere you can find it. Because share that video, man. That's an interview that you will never see again. Well, you'll see them again, but that first interview is always the best.
Definitely.
Y'all seen what it was like, man, coming up as an undrafted free agent in the 1980s, late 1980s into the 90s. Still hard, but man, that was great. That was great.
Definitely,
that was
man.
Great.
Definitely. And the thing is that not only that these guys, Chuck and Jessie, like they were such great players, but you could just tell from hearing them talk just for a few minutes the camaraderie that they had amongst each other. Fun-loving guys, and you could tell that and I don't want to sound cliche-ish, but you can tell that brotherhood was there.
Man, hold on. See, this is kind of this is kind of foolishness.
What in the world? She just took the bonnet off and put the lashes on.
Grand dials of 12. I have bad news with Tim Green. Tim Green suffers from ALS, so he can no longer talk. But if his wife or daughter would come on, I would love that. But he has ALS and he pretty much doesn't talk anymore. And it's hard to see because I actually had to see that on a story they did on CBS one morning on Fox Sunday. It was heartbreaking. I barely could watch it. It almost made me cry, but he suffers from ALS and he can no longer talk. But if he could talk, Tim Green is definitely one of the guys that I would want to interview because he was very knowledgeable of the game. As you know, when he left football, he went into the broadcasting booth, and he was probably one of the best broadcasters I'd ever heard in that era when you had guys like John Madden and Pat Summerall. But he put in work, man, on and off the field. He's wrote a couple of books, tells how he dealt with ALS, and it's really heartbreaking, man. It just shakes me just to even talk about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's one of the best, man. In the broadcast booth, I mean, I really enjoyed him. Very knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable. Yeah, man. I seen that story too, and it was the same way. Had me shook up a little bit. I ain't finna lie.
Yeah, man, that was sad, bro. That was sad.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
But we can answer a couple of questions before we get out of here. So if y'all got a question, throw it on in there.
Throw it on in there. Get ready for week one. Week one coming up.
Week one against the Eagles. And like I said, that preview coming, man. Preview of the Eagles and Falcons.
Week one coming up. In the words of our homeboy Chuck Smith, staying ready, so we ain't got to get ready. You already know what time it is.
It's time for you to go to bed. You talking about heels and lipstick is 9 o'clock at night. When you going with heels and lipstick on? I tell you, boy, she just can't act right to get upset, boy.
You can't get Joy to act right. You know how Joy is.
Man, I ain't messing with her tonight. Not tonight.
Look, good well, she got that bonnet on.
I talked about that a little bit earlier, Padre 920. Latavius Murray, I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons looked at him. Yeah, he's up in age, but he's still a veteran running back that could get, I think, 500 yards in the season. But I think he go to a veteran team like Baltimore, who's run heavy, a team like that. But I actually like our running backs, and like I said, I like the Wayne Gallman pickup. So I think that would be my thought on that. You see a question you want to answer?
Yeah, man. Let me see here. How about this right here? Brian People said, "Who do y'all think will have a big impact versus Philly?"
You go first.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I'm gonna the group that we need to have the biggest impact versus Philly is the safeties. So I'm gonna say Deron Harmon.
That's good. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah. And reason I was just gonna say the reason I say that is because since we're gonna be playing that running quarterback, and a lot of times with running quarterbacks it's short, then boom or bust. So we got to make sure that they don't let those deep plays go over their head. So I'm gonna go with Harmon. You go ahead, Smith.
I think I go with Calvin Ridley, and the reason why I say Calvin Ridley, he's going to be important in the receiving game, and I think he sets up Pitts and Hurst going across the middle. So if he can make big plays against that young secondary, I think it sets up the rest of the passing game, and I think it opens up the run game as well, because if you start moving the ball downfield via pass, it puts them on their heels, and it opens up the run game. So I think Calvin Ridley would probably be have the biggest impact in week 1.
Okay, I could definitely see that. Definitely.
Ooh, Marlon Davidson, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a real good one. I hope that's the case. I'm hoping that's what happened.
If Marlon Davidson has a good game, you can expect a good game from JTM or Dante Fowler or Michael Walker, because all of them are going to be blitzing on the other side of him. So that's Marlon Davidson is a great pick.
Yeah, I think so too. Now Ayers, he asked, how do you think?
My bad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. Go ahead. Where we were. Go back to where you were.
Oh, okay. I was. Let's see. It said Ayers says, this is a great episode. How do you think the new defense scheme will do against Hurts and Philly's offensive line? I think that we could get to him since he's such a young quarterback. I know that this defense traditionally has had success against younger quarterbacks. So
right,
I guess it depends on how much, how well does Hurts know his playbook and how cool under pressure he is. I think, what you think about that, Smitty?
I think they have a good, excellent time against him, because I think they have Deion Jones spying him in case he tries to take off. Deion Jones is just as fast. I can also see Michael Walker spying him. When you have two linebackers that fast, that quick, I think that helps out, the front seven to keep him from taking off running, or to keep him from making throws on the run. So I think they will scheme very well against him.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Where was I? How do you feel about the O-line group going up against their D-line? That's a great question. Go ahead, Ro.
Oh, man, boy. So I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all heard Jalen Mayfield's going to be the starting left guard. Sometimes, in the words of my big brother, he said, sometimes life is like a boo-boo sandwich. Sometimes you just wish you had more bread. So, we're going to see what happens with that. But I'm kind of worried about it. But I'm hoping that we can scheme against it, throwing some screens and some quick passes.
Yeah, what I feel about this O-line going up against their D-line, I think the guards in the center, they have to control Fletcher Cox. And I think they're going to have to get blocking help from Keith Smith in the backfield to open up right lanes. So if they can find a way to work around Barnett and Fletcher Cox, I think they have a chance. And one thing that will help them is getting help from Lee Smith also as a third tight end on the field, or if Hayden Hurst comes out and they use him for a blocking tight end. So I think they've already game planned for that front seven against Philadelphia, because if they can get past that front seven in Philadelphia, that secondary is young, and they will be able to exploit it.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people in the comments saying that Mayfield, he just got to get baptized.
Hey, what better way to learn? What better way to learn?
I mean, I don't agree with the whole, hey, we're going to put you in for a series and take you out for a series kind of situation. But,
right.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, go ahead and let him take his lumps early,
I agree with that to a certain extent, but I think for that to work, I think the running game has to take over. And the reason why I say that is when you are able to run the ball, it opens up the pass game, and those two will kill the seams. That will be no question. But think about Russell Gage on the other side of Calvin Ridley. That's who is going to help the most. So if they get the defensive backs and the linebackers beat, I think Russell Gage benefits more than anybody. So because those three, Ridley, Pitts, and Hurst, they may not beat their man right off top. So they leave him on the island by himself out. And I think Russell Gage can beat anybody. Nobody gives him credit, but he's great at release. He runs great routes, and he's explosive. So you put him in this offense with those three guys, I think he's going to be a big surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so too. I kind of agree with you. It's one of those cases where, Russell Gage, he's going to eat a good bit, and just like you said, it's all about those seams. But I think where we're going to get a lot of the yardage is going to be in the flats. I think they're going to be, I'm making a lot of passes out, especially not trusting this offensive line that much. I think there's going to be a lot of quick passes out in the flat. So your running backs and Pitts, he's probably going to be running a lot of really quick outs and
a lot of hooks. Yeah, a lot of hook routes. Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Granddad said, where your moonshine at?
Man, boy, Coach Ronnie triple. You see that? I can play a song with that, boy. Coach Ronnie ain't got nothing for me. I need to figure something out, boy. I'll tell you.
But you better not talk too loud. She's gonna start singing, so you better let it go.
I know it. I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, Coach Ronnie. I don't know if you heard.
It's a great question right here. What does a successful rookie year for Kyle Pitts look like to y'all?
I would say a successful rookie year would be 60 to 70 catches, right at 800 yards. That would be a successful rookie year for me.
I second that. That's right around it. Yeah, 60 catches, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's a success.
Yeah. I mean, because you think about it, it's like we don't need Kyle Pitts to do much. We just need him to make the catches when we need him to make the catches. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, as far as like the whole 1,200-yard seasons and everything, especially as I don't see that. I can see him being successful, with an 800-yard season. I could definitely see that being a successful season.
I want to give a shout out to Raider Nation, 34 Leonard Sr. He always supports me, big Raiders fan. I think John Gruden will get that team turned around, and I think they will have a great season. Got a great pickup in KJ Wright the other day. So Max Crosby, if he can keep on the path he's on, I think the Raiders will pick it up this year. And that AFC West is going to be tough, man. People are counting them out, but that's always been a tough division. The Chiefs may win the division, but it's not going to be easy by a long shot.
Definitely. And Coach Ronnie said the whole time I was sick, I was fighting to get her better so I could come back and sing to you.
Don't sing to me. Hey, after I heard that song, don't want to hear it. that song, no. I'm just joking though. I'm just joking. Oh boy, that's funny.
Man.
Ghost Pepper said you out of moonshine. He can't believe it.
Man, boy, hey, monkeys do fall out of trees sometimes, bro. You know, it's one of those situations. I gotta figure something out. I gotta go back home to Mama Country. I'm pretty sure Coach Norton got some here somewhere. So it's a scavenger hunt. I gotta find it.
Hey, Ashley said plums in the jar marinating.
Oh.
But one more question and we out of here. You pick the last question when we head out.
All right, let me see what we got here.
Last question.
Let me see. I don't see nothing up here. Y'all put a question in. We're gonna answer one more question for y'all before we go out. I know somebody asked our score prediction, but you know that's gonna be a whole separate video. Smitty said he put something together for y'all. I'm pretty sure Coach Ronald gonna have me put something together.
Hey, I have my boy on with me, my boy Double M, Marlon Malcolm, retired Navy SEALsman. He'll be on with me, and you're welcome to join if you want. But we're gonna give y'all our predictions for the week. Okay. Trust me, y'all gonna enjoy it.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, Shane Elliott says, who will be the first week MVP?
Ooh, good question. You mean for the NFL or for the Falcons?
I'm assuming for the Falcons.
If we go Falcons, I say it has to be Matt Ryan. We know the offensive line on the insides is going to be tough, and he's going to have to make quick throws, like you said. So if he get his timing up and make the throws that he needs to make, and if he had a 300-yard game, 9 times out of 10, I think the Falcons will win. So I would say Matt Ryan, but what would you say?
I'm going to say for this particular game, I'm going to say Deion Jones.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because we like I said, I'm really worried about stopping this. I'm really worried about stopping this offense. So, Debo gonna have to show up and show out this week. So I'm gonna say Debo.
That's great, man. That's a great one. But before we get out of here, please go ahead and press that subscribe button. Man, I'm tired. I've been working all day. I did 3 videos. Go ahead and press that subscribe button for Smitty Sports Machine, for Big Low Country. Think he's over here. I don't know my direction. He's right there. But y'all go ahead and press that subscribe button, man. Please press it. And the more you press the like button, the more our videos travel through YouTube universe. Always remember that. Just press that like button. You don't even have to turn the notification on. Well, you should, but you don't have to. All you got to do, check back with us, because I make a video almost every day. So press that like button, subscribe to our channel, and press like. Anything you have to say before we get out of here?
Man, y'all make sure if you're subscribed to Big Low Country, but you're not subscribed to Smitty Sports Machine, make sure that you check this man out. This man makes Falcons content, one of the best Falcons content creators on YouTube. Very knowledgeable, very thorough. So y'all make sure that y'all check out Smitty Sports Machine. Definitely.
And y'all make sure y'all check out Big Low, because he gonna start that moonshine factory. Him and Dr. Ronnie, they gonna give y'all all the flavors from red to grape. So please go out and check out Big Low, man. He's always been a big supporter. I'm glad he found me on YouTube, man. And it's strange how you meet people, man. He just reached out to me out the blue. He said, man, I really like your work. I love what you do. I would love to work with you sometime. And then we found joy. We found joy in the bonnet with the forehead, which y'all be talking about. And she wear her heels, her lipstick, and whatever else she can find. But she cool people. She knows her Falcon football, and she don't take no junk from nobody. And also, behind the scenes, please thank his wife, Roni, for always putting together his content, making sure his show is straight. That is very hard work. So y'all give her a shout out in the comment box to let y'all know that y'all appreciate her as well.
Definitely.
Because it's not easy keeping up with all this kind of stuff.
It's not.
And see, y'all see them emojis right there. This is what we have to put up with. That's what we have to put up with. So that's all I have to say, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. As I said, we're going to try to bring y'all more, better content as the season go on. More players that we can get, the right info for them. But we appreciate Jessie and Chuck coming on. And I appreciate Chuck setting up that interview for me, man. I definitely appreciate that. He's been a big supporter of mine since I met him. I think it was about almost 2 years ago. So we keep in touch. We talk, and he's always supporting me in any way he can. So shout out to Chuck Smith for putting together that great interview. I had a great time. I know my boy Low had a great time, and we will catch y'all later, man. We're gonna sign off, and next time, y'all got the brain of jokes, man, because we like to laugh. We like to laugh. Y'all got the brain of jokes. But we'll holler at y'all later, man.